Bonjour mon petit chiflet, Amber here. It's been a minute since I have done a sit down video. I have been playing major catch up with my vlogs and this channel and just life basically, but I wanted to stop putting this particular video off. It's been like 2 months and I've been putting this video off so I can put these books that I'm about to talk about in storage until I'm ready to read them. If you don't know, my birthday recently passed in September, which means there were a lot of books acquired between September and October. So I just wanted to do a book haul. I wanted to do something simple, something that I haven't done in a while, something that doesn't require too much brain power right now. And I wanted to show some of the books I've gotten very recently. So welcome to my birthday and October book haul. We've got a pretty good, pretty eclectic mix of books here, with the way my reading tastes are shifting somewhat, and also like the past season that we've just gone through. So I don't want to talk too much. There are some books here and I don't want this video to be super long, so let's just get started. The first two books were both gifts from my mommy. The first one is Minor Detail by Adania Shibley. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. It's translated by Elizabeth Jacquet. I actually just finished reading this today. I started reading it towards the end of September. I started reading this when I think on my way to Salem or when I was in Salem, and I put it aside because there were other books on my TBR that I was focusing on, and I finally picked this back up. This is not what this is about. Anyway, this tiny heartbreaking heavy book. It centers around this case in 1948 where a Palestinian teenage girl was taken prisoner by some Israeli soldiers, and in the end, in her short stay as their captive, she was a victim of rape and then murder. Oh, I'm sorry. It takes place the summer of 1949, so a year after the Nakba, as you know, the soldiers are still rounding up and exterminating Palestinians. Anywho, she, like I said, she unfortunately is raped, murdered, buried in the desert and forgotten. Essentially picks up many years later, where a woman who I believe she lives in Ramallah discovers the story, or the tiny blip of a story, and basically becomes obsessed with it, and we follow her trying to unearth a forgotten story, a forgotten crime that happens to have happened 25 years to the day before she was born. It's very tiny, but in this 105 pages, it just leaves you haunted and breathless. And anyway, I talked way too long about this book. The next book, once again, like I said, it was a gift from my mommy. It was bought, one, for my birthday, but also to go to Salem with me because it's the perfect book to take to Salem. I finally got Slewfoot by Brahm. I don't know why I was kind of avoiding this book for a really long time, but I am obsessed with it. This is, first of all, the book itself is stunning. The story is so captivating. It's such a perfect book to take with you to Salem, Massachusetts. It's a tale of bewitchery for real. This follows Abatha, who lives in like this colonial, puritanical New England colony, basically. After her husband dies, she is doing whatever it takes to survive and keep his land, and she ends up befriending sort of this creature who doesn't have any memory of who or what he is. Abatha meets him and assumes he is like the devil, and he can't say for sure whether he's not, and they kind of strike a bargain to help each other, and it's creepy and so autumnal. I am always really drawn to sort of like Puritan horror, like The Witch, as I like to call it, with Anya Taylor-Joy. And obviously I'm fascinated and very intrigued by the Salem witch trials. As a East Coastal girly myself, these stories are really interesting to me. Like I said, perfect book to take with me to Salem. I didn't read it in Salem, but I did take it with me for pictures. But also, Abatha is that girl. Chunk of books were all purchased in New York. When I was cat sitting for my friends, I was there for almost 2 weeks and had the time of my life. The first 3 of this bunch I got from the Ripped Bodice. I finally made my way over to Brooklyn to visit the Brooklyn location of the Ripped Bodice, which, if you don't know, is the cutest little bookstore in Brooklyn, like I said, that is solely dedicated to romance books. There is a little table in the back that has like other types of books, but it is a romance bookstore, and I adore that place, and I can't wait to be back. I picked up this poetry book, From Persephone with Love by Emily Brant. This is apparently a companion to Love Letters from Hades, and I just really thought that I needed to have it. I thought this was absolutely perfect because, one, coming off of August and my month of reading Greek mythology retellings, and then for my birthday, which was like a week or so before I went to New York, I was also in New York, I went to see Hadestown, which is a masterpiece. Jordan Fisher's Orpheus literally changed my life. That's not what I'm talking about, but Hadestown, Hades and Persephone, I thought this was absolutely perfect to kind of commemorate that time in my life. A cute postcard. This is a nice little like painting, I guess, or artwork of the shop, the storefront. Then I found a physical copy of Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop, which I read, I believe, back in May, perhaps, and fell in love with, and I desperately wanted a physical copy for my shelves, for my collection. Also, this book is getting a new cover coming out in physical next month, I believe, with a brand new cover, and I just kind of wanted this. I wanted this cover before getting the new one. Next book, bought completely on a whim, and this cover really drew me in. This is called 10 Trends to Seduce Your Best Friend by Penny Reed, and I'm kind of really into that cover. Can you see that? Yeah, the colors really drew me in, and I don't really know much. It seems like it's going to be very social media heavy because like we have the phone on the back, and like we have a bunch of hashtags down here. Looks like Instagram or whatever. I think they're teachers. Is this one with the teachers? Winifred Garibaldi and Byron Visser are not best friends. They've known each other for years, but they're not even friendly. Winnie considers them more like casual, distant acquaintances who find each other barely tolerable, especially when he's being condescending, which is all the time. The truth is they have nothing in common. She's a public school science teacher with stars in her eyes, and he's a pretentious, joyless, double PhD turned world famous best-selling fiction author. She loves sharing her passion for, promulgating women in STEM careers and building community via social media, like I said. And he eschews all socialization. I know I said that wrong. Virtual or otherwise. She's looking for a side hustle to help pay down a mountain of student debt, and his financial portfolio is the stuff of fiduciary wet dreams. So why are they faking a hashtag best friend relationship for millions of online spectators when a simple case of tit-for-tat trends between non-friends leads to a wholly unexpected kind of pretend? Nothing is okay. Fake dating, yada yada yada. I feel like, I'm hoping that this doesn't irritate me. I hope this isn't like overboard with social media and whatnot, or like even pop culture references, but I just really liked this cover. So This is very thick. Okay, and then like 2 days later, I went to Topo's bookstore, which is in Ridgewood. I go there every time I visit my friends. It's the cutest little tiny bookstore cafe which sells used and a few new books. So I have a little mix of both. And this particular day, I wanted to make sure I went before I came home. One, because my lovely lovelies gifted me a gift card for my birthday, so obviously I had to use it. And I was in there having the time of my life. I thought I was gonna sit down, have a cute little cafe moment, read a little bit, get myself a coffee, but I was browsing a bottom shelf, which is where I got the next books I'm about to talk about from, of the new books. And I guess I was down there too long. My leg fell asleep or gave out or something, and I almost fell face first to the ground in the tiny bookshop that was full of people for once. And I paid for my books and fled the scene. So what I got though, I finally got a copy of Never Whistle at Night, this indigenous dark fiction short story anthology, which is edited by Shane Hawk and Theodore C. Van Alst Jr. I actually finished reading this yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before yesterday. I had a time. I had a great time with this book. Love the cover also. I won't talk about this too much. Like I said, it's a short collection of short stories, all by indigenous authors, which I thought was perfect to read this month, it being Native American Heritage Month. And then I picked up another cover by, really, and then I read the premise and was intrigued. And it's Out of the Sierra, a story of Raramuri Resistance by Victoria Blanco. All gorgeous. It says a displaced family charts a path forward in this testament to the power of perseverance and the many forms resistance can take. Like I said, this follows like a displaced family that is a part of the Raramuri people of Chihuahua, Mexico, which is one of the, apparently, one of the largest indigenous tribes of North America. It is based on more than a decade of oral history and participatory fieldwork. Out of the Sierra paints a vivid and vital portrait of Raramuri, I'm going to learn how to pronounce this, displacement. When drought leaves the Gutierrez family with nothing to eat, they are faced with the choice many Raramuris must make: remain and hope for rain and aid, or leave their sacred homeland behind. I hope to get around to this soon, probably early 2025 at this rate. Maybe I might pick it up next month, who knows. Apparently yellow books will get me every time. And the two used books I got are ginormous. First and foremost, I got The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson, the epic story of America's Great Migration. So I think this will be my nonfiction of 2025. This is huge, so I will definitely slow read it throughout the year. Maybe I'll check out the audiobook to see if I will need to, maybe listening to it simultaneously will be a great help. And as someone whose family was part of the Great Migration, I'm especially drawn to this book. I've also heard nothing but great things about it, so I'll keep you updated. And I got a copy of The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by John Chiardi. Specifically, I got this for a specific reason, for a specific video I will be doing next year in March, hopefully. I'm putting it out there, hold myself accountable, and that's, I will leave it at that. I specifically want to read Dante's Inferno. Carrying all these books home from New York on Megabus, no, I'm sorry, on Amtrak, on the train, Jesus be offense. Okie dokie. So I ordered this because I wanted to take this as well to Salem, but unfortunately it did not arrive in time. But I did end up reading it last month. in October. Necrology by Meg Ripley, which I think came out in September. And this takes place in a fantastical aftermath of the Salem witch trials. Magical women known as the Dirty have signed a contract swearing off their innate magic in exchange for freedom from violence by non-magical freemen. 200 years later, in a Catskills orphanage, Headmistress Whitetail has sprouted antlers, proof of a violated contract. When her wealthy benefactor visits, proposing marriage, her appearance sparks abuse. Rushing to her teacher's defense, 8-year-old Rabbit curses the beard dead, and Whitetail is arrested on trumped-up charges. As Whitetail awaits her trial and execution, Rabbit is groomed as the Freeman's star witness and learns of the terrifying reality to which they aspire. With her magic at stake and a loose tooth in her mouth, Rabbit has little left to lose and a revolution to gain. This was very interesting. Definitely great to read. Still riding on those Salem vibes, obviously. It spurs from the witch trials. Speaking of Salem, which is easily one of my favorite places I've ever been in my life, and I can't wait to go back next year. I would love to move there. If you see me moving to Salem, Massachusetts, mind your business. I got 2 books while I was there. The first one, I love how this happened. We were the first day in Salem. It was towards the end of the first day. We were just doopty-doopting around the town. We went into one of the shops, one of the gift shops, and there was an author dressed as the Wicked Witch of the West, dressed as Miss Elphaba herself. And I said, you know what? Yeah, let's see what this is about. So I got a copy of Witch City by Salem Styles, which was pitched to me as inspired by the Salem witch trials, obviously, and Wicked. And I'm like, say no more. Hand me the book. Thank you. Have a nice day. Pick up your little pen, sign this book, and that's all you have to say to me. Like, come on, be serious. I should read it now because it's Wicked Week and I'm seeing Wicked on Sunday. Saturday? Sunday. So, bless. I gotta speed through this. I also got just a reading tea leaves book. This is something I've been wanting to really study and get into, so found it at the same shop, thought it was perfect. Then I went to Barnes & Noble, and it was the first time I'd been to the new Barnes & Noble in the city since they moved it from Walnut Street to Chestnut Street. Still not in love with that decision, but whatever. I got 3 romance books and 2 horror books. I'm gonna speed through this. I picked up both Kiss and Spell and Deja Brew by Celestine Martin. These are the 2nd and 3rd books after Wishful Thinking, which I read I got it when I was in Anchorage, and read, I think, like that the next year. I don't know when I read it, but I loved it. Surprisingly loved it more than I thought I would, so obviously I need to finish the series. These books take place in New Jersey and follow this magical family of witches and their love hijinks, and black witches, please, yes, absolutely inject it into my veins. And it's just very cute, and I'm like, why does this suddenly make me want to move to Jersey? Ew. And then I got Best Hex Ever by Nadia El-Fassi, which, once again, well, this one follows a kitchen witch. So she's a witch, but she's also a baker, and injected into my veins. And I think she's like breaking a hex that's on her love life or something, but all I really needed was witch baker. And this is very cute. And obviously it was spooky season, and it was 'tis the season. It was the time that I needed to be buying all of these witchy romance books. Do you know who I am? Ugh. And then I picked up Pay the Piper by George A. Romero and Daniel Kraus. Really, cover got me. And I was just looking for some books to read for spooky season. It says a terrifying and lyrical tale of supernatural horror set in a cursed Louisiana bayou. That's really all I needed to know. I'm not gonna, unfortunately won't get around to reading it this year, but I definitely am not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna hold this off for next spooky season. I'm gonna read it at some point in the near future. Maybe I'll hold it for that vlog I was talking about. It might fit into that, we'll see. But apparently, who is this? Daniel Kraus found the unfinished story by George A. Romero and then finished it, and now we have Pay the Piper. In the last book I got, sorry I've started talking really fast, I have like 5 minutes to finish this. I finally got Immortal Dark by Tigist Girma. All I know about this book, black vampires. I believe black sapphic vampires. I think it's sort of dark academia. That's all I really want to know. But I know I'm going to gobble it up, you know? Hers, blah, 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 orphaned heiress Kitten Adane grew up far from arcane society when she was born into... What? Whoa. What did I just say? None of that was English. Orphaned heiress grew up far from the society she was born into, where human bloodlines gain power through vampire companionship. When her sister June disappears, Keaton is convinced the vampire stole her, the very vampire bound to their family. The cruel yet captivating Susanyo Sagad. And she has to like infiltrate the elite Uxley University, where she must survive living with Susanyo. So it seems like it's going to be like an enemies to lovers situation as well. I'm excited. I'm excited. I think this is YA. I haven't been reading as much YA lately anymore, but I hope this is one that'll really be what I need. So those are the books that I've gotten recently between my birthday and October. If you've read any of these, let me know what you think of them, or if you're planning to read any of them. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me and hope that I do more sit-down videos in the near future, subscribe. Is that what I'm about to say? All my places are down here, so you can follow me and I'll follow you back, and I'll see you very soon.